Did you know that nearly 70% of small business owners say they struggle with perfectionism? This mindset can be more damaging than you think. In fact, studies show that perfectionists are twice as likely to experience burnout and stress. If you've ever found yourself stuck in endless revisions or hesitating to launch a product, you're not alone. Perfectionism may seem like a way to ensure quality, but it often leads to missed opportunities and stalled growth. A staggering 40% of entrepreneurs admit that their fear of imperfection has stopped them from taking important risks. So, what's the real cost of this quest for perfection? In this video, we'll uncover how perfectionism can secretly sabotage your small business. We'll explore why good enough is often the better choice, how over-polishing can disconnect you from your customers, and why embracing mistakes can actually fuel your growth. Get ready to shift your mindset and take action. Your business deserves to thrive, imperfections and all. Chapter 1. The Perfection Trap. Why good enough is your best friend. Perfectionism often disguises itself as a commitment to quality. But in reality, it's more about fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of not being good enough. And here's the truth: perfection doesn't exist. You might spend days perfecting your website, tweaking every line of copy and image placement, but your customers won't notice the small things you obsess over. In fact, Harvard Business Review points out that perfectionism is associated with reduced productivity and burnout. Trying to make everything perfect leads to endless revisions, draining your energy and slowing down your progress. A Stanford study even found that entrepreneurs who embrace a fail fast mentality are more likely to succeed because they learn quickly from their mistakes. The key here is adopting a mindset of good enough. When you get something to 80% perfect, that's often all you need. If your business's success depends on minor tweaks, you're focusing on the wrong things. Customers care about value and outcomes, not perfection. Remember, LinkedIn's co-founder, Reid Hoffman, famously said, "If you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late." Strategy. Start setting deadlines that force you to finish projects at 80% completion. Once you've hit that, launch, test, and adjust based on feedback. This method, known as the MVP, minimum viable product, approach, is what helped companies like Dropbox and Airbnb scale fast without being stuck in perfectionist mode. Chapter 2. Time Vampires. How perfectionism steals your most valuable asset. Time is the most valuable asset for small business owners. Yet, perfectionism is one of the biggest time wasters. A University of Toronto study found that perfectionists spend nearly 30% more time on tasks compared to their non-perfectionist peers. The extra time spent perfecting a product or service doesn't translate to better results. It often means you're losing time that could be spent growing your business. For small business owners, time is money. Every extra hour you spend tweaking a design or rewriting an email campaign is an hour you could have spent building relationships with customers or expanding your network. This is what I call the time vampire effect of perfectionism. Strategy. Combat this by practicing time blocking and setting strict time limits for tasks. Let's say you're working on a social media post. Give yourself 30 minutes to complete it, no more. You'll find that the pressure of a deadline pushes you to focus on what truly matters. By focusing on execution rather than perfecting every detail, you'll free up valuable time to put into higher impact activities, like customer engagement or sales. Bonus tip. Apply the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. It suggests that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Focus on that 20%, the key tasks that drive growth, and don't waste time obsessing over the small stuff that only gives marginal improvements. Chapter 3. The Paralysis of Perfection. When doing nothing is worse, many entrepreneurs don't even realize that perfectionism leads to inaction. The fear of not getting it just right often means they do nothing at all. This is known as paralysis by analysis, and it's incredibly common. According to research by the Journal of Behavioral Decision-Making, individuals who overanalyze tend to delay decisions, leading to missed opportunities. Think of it like this: every time you hesitate because something isn't perfect, you're giving your competitors the chance to move ahead. They might launch a product that's not as polished, but they're getting real-world feedback, while you're stuck in the planning phase. Strategy. To avoid decision paralysis, start embracing imperfect action. The goal here is to make a decision and act on it, even if it's not perfect. One simple way to get started is by adopting a test and tweak approach. Launch your product or idea, gather feedback, and adjust as you go. This doesn't mean you put out sloppy work, but it does mean you prioritize progress over perfection. A quote from Jeff Bezos sums this up perfectly. If you can get decisions with 70% of the information, you're doing fine. Waiting for 100% certainty will only slow you down. Strategy tip. Use the 2-minute rule for small decisions. If something takes less than 2 minutes to decide, make the call and move on. Don't waste time weighing every tiny detail. Chapter 4. Customer disconnect. Why over-polishing kills authenticity. Perfectionism doesn't just slow you down, it can also create a wall between you and your customers. Small business owners often think that a perfectly polished brand will attract more customers, but in reality, people crave authenticity. When you spend too much time refining your brand image or product, you risk losing the genuine connection that sets small businesses apart. A study from Edelman found that 81% of consumers say that trust in a brand is a deciding factor in their purchase decisions. Customers trust businesses that feel real, not overly curated. They want to see the human side of your brand, the imperfections and all. If your social media posts, website, or emails feel too perfect, it can seem robotic or distant. Strategy. Start embracing transparency. Share the behind-the-scenes moments, even when they're not perfect. Show the messy middle of creating a product or the hiccups along the way. Customers appreciate honesty. Gary Vaynerchuk, a well-known entrepreneur, often says, "Perfection is boring, just tell your story." This human touch can build stronger connections and loyalty. Action step. Make your communication conversational. Instead of over-editing your emails or social posts, write like you're talking to a friend. This approach not only saves you time but also keeps your tone authentic and relatable. Remember, authenticity drives connection more than perfection ever will. Chapter 5. Fail faster, grow quicker. Why mistakes are a superpower. The fear of failure is what keeps perfectionists stuck. But what if failure was actually the key to success? Many successful entrepreneurs will tell you that failing quickly is one of the best strategies for growth. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure brought him closer to success. In small business, mistakes are inevitable. But the faster you make them, the quicker you can adjust and improve. A study by the Kauffman Foundation found that businesses that embrace rapid experimentation and learn from mistakes are more likely to scale successfully. Waiting until everything is perfect before taking action means you'll learn at a slower rate. Strategy. Adopt a test and learn mindset. Instead of trying to perfect your business ideas in isolation, put them out into the world and gather real feedback. Whether it's a new product, service, or marketing campaign, get it in front of customers early. Then, use their feedback to make improvements. This iterative approach allows you to refine your offerings based on real-world data, not guesswork. Action step. Start small with your experiments. Try out a limited version of your product or launch a beta program. Don't be afraid to let customers know it's a work in progress. Reid Hoffman, the co-founder of LinkedIn, put it well, "If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late." Chapter 6. Breaking free. How to cultivate an action-oriented mindset. Perfectionism is a mindset, and to beat it, you need to cultivate a new way of thinking. Shifting from perfectionism to an action-oriented mindset is key to unlocking growth for your small business. Entrepreneurs who take action, even when things aren't perfect, are the ones who move forward. One strategy to break free from perfectionism is adopting the 80-20 rule. Focus on the 20% of actions that will bring you 80% of your results. This forces you to prioritize high-impact activities and let go of the rest. You don't need to perfect everything. Just concentrate on what truly matters for your business growth. Action step. Another powerful tool is the "done is better than perfect" mantra. Repeat this to yourself whenever you find yourself stuck in over-analysis. Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook, has used this mindset to help scale the company from startup to global giant. She says, "Done is better than perfect, because waiting for perfection means missing out on opportunities." Strategy. To keep yourself on track, use tools like SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. When you break your tasks down into clear, actionable steps, it becomes easier to take action and measure your progress without getting lost in perfectionist tendencies. Finally, surround yourself with a support network of people who encourage progress over perfection. Whether it's a mentor, a mastermind group, or fellow entrepreneurs, having accountability can help push you toward action. Studies from the American Society of Training and Development show that you are 65% more likely to achieve a goal when you have an accountability partner. Perfectionism might feel like it's helping you deliver quality, but it's actually slowing you down and holding your small business back. By focusing on authenticity, embracing failure as a tool for growth, and cultivating an action-oriented mindset, you can finally break free from perfectionism. Your business doesn't need perfection to thrive, it needs progress. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more insights and tips on how to grow your small business successfully.